Welcome. It's Tuesday, February 18th, 2025. It's my honor and pleasure to be speaking with Mr. John J. Jeckovich. How are you doing today, Mr.
Good,
Jeckovich?
very good, very good.
You're looking chipper.
Yeah,
I like your Indian sweater that you received as a gift a few weeks ago. Do you remember what Indian that was? Indian sweater gift?
couldn't hear you.
Indian sweater gift? Remember what Indian it was?
Couldn't hear you.
Okay. Well, anyways, it's very nice. And you're looking really well today. And could I get you a coffee or a tea? No? Do you want a coffee or a tea, Mr. Jeckovich?
No, come on. Now?
You want a coffee or a tea?
Come on.
The year is 2025, and Mr. Jeckovich was born in the year of 1925. He is knocking on the door of 100 this year. Tick, tock, tick, tock. He's knocking on that door of 100. And let me tell you, it's not easy getting to 100, is it, Mr. Jeckovich?
Well,
Days get harder, days get longer.
more expensive.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, since you brought that up, let's talk a bit. We have people all the time asking about longevity and also expenses during old age, you might say respectfully. Let's talk about it. Well, this is like our 472nd podcast, and a while back we received a text message and later a call from a couple that's in their 60s, and they're getting ready to retire, and they said their house is fully paid for, and they have $1 million cash in the bank. And my response to them was, I would not want to be you. I would not want to be you. And they said abruptly, why? We're set. Okay, let me explain. You know nothing about being old. Let me explain. I witnessed it with Mr. Jeckovich here, and let me tell you how the game plays out. Once you become elderly, you are simply a human cash register, right?
Yeah.
Every minute, 5,000 here, 1,000 here, 50,000 here. The list is long, long. So let me tell you why you should be pounding your chest like you accomplished something great, because you didn't. When your knees blow out, like Mr. Jeckovich's knees blow out, and you care to remain in your same house that you haven't paid for, but you still have all the expenses of living in the house, you have to upkeep it, pay the electric, water, taxes. Taxes in the state of Florida, real estate taxes have went through the roof. They went through the roof. And not only that, good luck with your homeowner's insurance. In most spots, it's doubled or tripled. Or if your house was not 2003 and newer, most insurance companies won't even write you a policy. And if you're lucky enough to have your house on the ocean side, not the mainland in Florida, it'd be almost impossible to buy new insurance. So you got all the expenses of maintaining your house still, which is not cheap today, it's expensive. But let's get back to the human cash register aspect. If your knees blow out, and Mr. Jeckovich's knees blew out because you jogged for 80 years.
Yeah.
You jogged for 80 years.
Frostbite too.
And he's got frostbite in his foot that he still suffers every night, and that came from the Ardennes forced during World War II, where temperatures, wind chill factors were 30 below, the coldest winter of record in Germany. And he still suffers 80 years later, right?
Yeah,
When the temperature changes here, your foot is horribly.
I go with it.
You go with it, it's painful. But let's get back to the finances, because Mr. Jeckovich first mentioned that it's expensive, and it is. And I want to use the example of the couple with the house paid for and a lot of money in the bank. Okay, Mr. Jeckovich jogged for 80 years. That's why you look at him right now as a super soldier. He's in great health. He reads 3 newspapers a day with no glasses. He's got so much power in his hand that he can squeeze your hand in a handshake and knock you to the floor. He only sleeps 4 or 5 hours a night. Reads, gets to bed about 1, up at 6 for breakfast. Yeah, he keeps going, right? You have a busy schedule and you're working really hard. We call him the super soldier, knocking on the door of 100. But let's get back to the finances just for argument's sake. Okay, so he's in perfect health, knees blew out. But once your knees blow out, boy oh boy, you need a lot of help. You need help going to the bathroom, changing your clothes, going places, cooks. You need at least 2 people on your side, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now you need a cook to make the meals, 2 different shifts, a driver, and especially need a person to do all your schedulings of your appointments, because you'll have many. You'll have so many scheduling of different appointments when you get up in age, because we still have to go by the game that when you're an elderly person, you're a human cash register. So, if your knees blow out and you're staying home and you have 2 people on your side 24/7, minimum 25, 30 some dollars an hour, do the math, and then you have a cook for maybe 6 hours a day, and one person that just does your management of making your calls, doing your schedules, and then a driver, and there's a lot of other stuff in between. That's well over $40,000 a month on the conservative side. That's not living luxurious. That's bare bones. $40,000 a month. So now we multiply that times 2 years, we're almost touching that $1 million savings you had. So now in 2 years you're basically broke. So your idea of what you thought was good, and I said I wouldn't want to be you, this is the example. So maybe you might think of other options, because it's not easy getting old, right?
No.
Harder every day, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people will say, well, I have an ace in the hole. I have an ace in the hole. I'll have my sons and daughters do it. How does that work out?
Not very good.
Not very good. You'll find out 99% of your so-called sons and daughters will abandon you like a rat will abandon a sinking ship. That's a fact. Because when there's money involved, and lots and lots and lots of time involved, they're gone. They're eking away living, doing stuff that's not that important. 2 of Mr. Jeckovich's son we haven't seen in who knows how many years.
Right.
Years. Sons, we haven't seen them in years.
Oh.
Your sons, we don't know where the hell
I
they are.
haven't seen JK, Dolphin hasn't seen JK in 10 years.
10 years. And then you have a daughter, we don't know what the hell she's doing. You said she blocked your number.
Yeah, West Virginia, yeah.
Yeah, what the hell? So there's your idea to that. So when life is going great and you're all singing Kumbaya and you're going to Thanksgiving dinners and Christmas dinners and life is wonderful. But when you find out that they have to put in time and money, they'll abandon you like a rat would abandon a sinking ship. Yeah, 2 of his sons gone. 2 of his daughter-in-laws, which I laugh at the phrase. I use that term loosely. Daughter-in-laws gone. These people have no empathy. They're sociopaths with no empathy, but they're telling the world what wonderful people they are, what wonderful family members are, but they abandon a 100-year-old father-in-law. They're not wonderful people. They're not wonderful people. They're the type of people, if you were on life support, they'd unplug your life support simply to plug in their cell phone to charge it. They're the closest things to animals I've ever known or heard of. The closest things to animals I ever heard of. You must remember, the most poisonous people on earth, comes disguised as family. Most poisonous people on earth come disguised as family. Most of them are sociopaths with no empathy. His son and his so-called daughter-in-law live around the corner. What the hell happened? Could you imagine the example they're setting for their kids? Could you imagine the example they're setting for their grandkids? How disgusting. That's a mortal sin. I'd hate to be them when they leave this earth. There's not going to be no purgatory for them. They're going straight to hell. Do not stop. Straight to hell. Yet they're purporting to the world they're this wonderful group of family people, which is all bullshit. But Mr. Jeckovich is doing well financially and physically, so screw the two so-called daughter-in-laws and screw the two so-called sons and screw the so-called daughter. They're hiding out. I could never imagine, but they're like rats. Rats have a sixth sense. When that ship is sinking, they bail. They're hiding out like rats with abandoning a sinking ship. But you're looking well today.
Yeah.
Is your knee is your frostbite bothering you a little bit?
Oh yeah, it keeps me all night. I got to keep fooling around with it.
Is that sweatshirt that you got from an Indian reservation? Where was that? Is that comfortable?
Oh yeah.
You look nice in jeans. You look very nice in jeans. Well, we're getting close to the end of this book. I wish you'd get busy on your new one. We're winding it down. We're on page 824. And how many pages?
849.
Wow. I'm going to read a little bit, then I have a couple questions, if you don't mind.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
But I have to open up my laptop to read this book. What's the dog tag?
420965.
All right. Minutes, please.
Jeckovich.
What's that?
What
You want a coffee or something?
No, I don't want a coffee.
17.
What Indian reservation did that come from?
I can't, Seminole?
Okay.
What do you get? I don't want a coffee.
Okay, no coffee. Coffee.
No, I don't want nothing at all.
Okay, here we go. Let me read. This is a very interesting part. We were reading this book day after day, week after week, and we finally came to how you started your running career, your jogging career for 80 long decades. For 8 decades, 80 long decades. Okay, I began in running in earnest, 3 or 4 miles per day, having read Dr. Cooper's book.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? Where'd you find this book at?
In the library.
Oh yeah, I used to go to the library book.
Yeah.
Dr. Cooper's book on cardiovascular conditioning, how running related to heart and blood vessels, and the beneficial effect of exercise. I was inspired. I guess like hell you were inspired because you did it for 80 years. I would be something I would stay in for many, many years, and it became an important part of my life. Did you go in the library in Niagara Falls, New York? You remember what street that was on?
Main Street.
Main Street? I wonder if those libraries are
It's a
still...
nice library. Nice
I wonder if
library.
they still exist.
Oh, yeah, it's a state library. It's a state library.
But did you, by the way, a side note, Mr. Jeckovich's father died of a heart attack at 43 years old, 3 different jobs, working like a slave to give his kids a better life. So did you question your health because your father died of a heart attack at 43
No.
and you were looking for answers to go running?
No.
No, that wasn't the reason.
What?
Did you go to a library because your father died of a heart attack. Did you go to the library and try to find an answer how you would have a life that wasn't riddled with heart problems? Why did you go? What motivated you to look up a book about cardiovascular?
Living well?
What motivated you to look up a book relating to cardiovascular diseases? Because that's how your father died. Your father died of a heart attack. Was that the motivation?
Well, I don't know what you're getting at.
I'm saying your father died at 43, right?
Yeah?
Did you think in the back of your mind you might want to do something
Same.
to prolong your life? Because your father died at 43.
I never thought of it.
Okay, so this was non-related to your father's death.
No.
This was, okay, well, that's a good point. It was non-related. That's a good point. Well, either way, it worked out well. Okay. Oh, by the way, Mr. Jeckovich was in Company H, the 2nd Battalion, the 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich lives by the motto, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. Sure is. Today is a gift. Hey, boys and girls, the dance under the sun is short. The dance under the sun is short, boys and girls. Enjoy your life. Today is a gift. Look at Mr. Jeckovich blinked his eyes at 20, and now you're 100.
Yeah.
You freaking blinked your eyes. It didn't feel long. You said to me the other day, you blinked your eyes at 20 and you're 100.
Yeah.
So by the way, if you're 40 years old listening to this, you have unfortunately, you have a 10% chance, or maybe, fortunately, it can go either way. Unfortunately, unfortunately, if you're 40 years old and listening to this, you have a 10% chance of making it to 100. It's hard to do. It's hard to do. Really hard to do. Let's see what we got here. Oh. Do you remember Charlie? Charlie?
Charlie?
Charlie. Was that your sister's husband? Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You're right about him. It was then that my sister would enter the picture and attempt to make life more pleasant than Grandma while we were gone. That's good. Nothing was said when she and Charlie would go on 2-week vacations. Oh, okay. Okay, here's a good point. We had purchased a tent trailer. Do you remember buying that Coleman tent trailer?
A what?
Do you remember buying that Coleman pop-up tent trailer?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That would be towed with our International. We started camping at various campsites, mostly state-sponsored. You like the state parks the best,
Yes,
right?
campsite 51.
Yeah. And we would go out most every long weekend during the summer months. I think you had a funny story one time when you were camping, you told me, and you brought your daughter's friend along, and she had a tooth problem. What happened?
Into what?
When you were camping at Bowman Lake at one time, near Norwich in Oxford, New York, you said your daughter brought along a friend, and your friend had a toothache problem. What happened?
Oh, she got sick. I take her to the doctors, and then she says, "They're not my parents." The doctor stopped right there.
and then you had another incident.
Yeah.
Where you had friends of a relative come over, and they got sunburned. And what happened with that?
Well, they blamed me for I told them, don't stay in the sun, you're going to get sunburned. I mean, what am I going to sit on them?
Yeah, what do you do? Sit on them, right? Yeah. So what happened?
Well, you were responsible for them. I said, how the hell am I responsible for them? They're adults. I told them, you can't sit in the sun too much, you'll get sunburned.
They didn't listen.
And they were sunburned.
And so they wanted you to take them to the emergency room or something?
Yeah, take them to the emergency room. I said, what are you going to do?
What do you do in the emergency room for a sunburn? And then she say she was going to call
And I
the
said,
cops?
just stay out of the shade. Stay in the
Did she say she
shade.
was going to call the cops or something?
Oh, oh, they're going to turn me in for not taking care of my kids. I thought, what am I going to do?
Sunburn, what the hell are you gonna do?
I told them, don't sit there in the sun. What am I going to do?
Yeah,
Tie them down?
yeah, that's a good point. So you had some run-ins with crazy friends and
In-laws,
relatives,
yeah.
We purchased a tent trailer that would be towed with our international, that's the green machine, that's the big international travel,
Yeah.
it's a travel, it's a big SUV. And we started camping at various campsites, mostly state-sponsored. And we go out mostly every long weekend during the summer months. Grandma did not accompany us on these campouts as much as she wanted to, but she insisted on staying home and be rather peeved whenever we went out. So your mother didn't want to go, but she was peeved when you'd go.
Yeah.
This did not deter us, and when we began to take my vacations as a campout, she had become blustery and irritable whenever we'd be gone for a week at a time.
Yeah, because she's alone.
Yeah, well, she's got a daughter. Her daughter's name is Sally. Your mother had a daughter. It was then my sister Sally, your sister Sally, would enter the picture in an attempt to make life more pleasant for Grandma while we're gone. But Sally was saying to you, why are you leaving Grandma?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, why are you leaving Grandma? Nothing was ever said when Sally and Charlie would go on 2-week vacations with Grandma's blessings. So when your sister and her husband would go on vacations, Grandma gave them their blessings and told them have a nice time. But when you went on vacations, your mother was angry, right?
Well, she figured we should have been there right there with her.
Well, that's not how it should be. Not 24/7. Okay, Grandma's blessings with no guilt and feelings whatsoever on their part for Sally and Charlie. But we were always left, Delphine and I, with definite feeling that we'd do something wrong when we'd take the children camping for a weekend or on vacation. Okay, here's a good part. When we would return, it took us several days before Grandma would warm up to us again and treat us civilly. So when you got back from camping, your mother gave you the cold shoulder.
Well, but she would open the door for Delphine. Delphine knocked on the door, she would answer it.
Jesus. Gee, what the hell? It was always an ordeal and constantly badgering by Grandma when we would leave her alone for an extended period. But Delphine and I were determined to have a remaining time with the children, no matter how much Grandma acted up. This badgering by Grandma, and to a lesser, more discreet manner by Sally. So Sally, your sister, would be angry with you when you went on vacation too.
Yeah.
Why didn't she stay with Grandma?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I asked her, you would take care of Grandma? Hey, well, we got a family, I got had family to take care of. All that shit.
Yeah, that's the old story. It was increasingly more as Grandma grew older and our own situation as our children got older became more evident. We had finally reached a point where we could not compromise any further. All right, now we're talking about the international travel law. There wasn't many SUVs then, so you were before your time. The international was giving us problems and becoming unreliable. What happened to it? Why was it becoming unreliable?
What, the tent?
No, the international travel law, the big green monster. Your truck, your SUV that you pulled your trailer with. You said the international, the green one, was giving us problems and becoming unreliable.
Well, I mean, it was a good truck. It was an axle, yeah.
In the fall of 1969, we traded in for an international four-wheel drive crew cab pickup. So you trade the green SUV in
For that pickup, the white
for a four-door white pickup
Yeah.
that you made a living snowplowing on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
That was four-wheel drive.
Yeah, you couldn't have done it without four-wheel drive.
Huh?
You couldn't have done it without four-wheel drive. Crew cab pickup, which was by my means of transportation for 20 plus years. So you used that thing a long time.
Yeah, we used it for everything.
It served you well.
Stones, rock, lumber, moving.
Delphine still drove the sedan Oldsmobile. Was that an Oldsmobile Omega, the green car?
Yeah, one, yeah.
But never did quite manage the manual shift on the International. So I became the sole driver of it. So you're the only one that drove the big 4x4. Minutes, please.
Just under 5.
The shifting was basically the same as a Volkswagen we had for many years, but I always felt it was the size of the pickup that befuddled Delphine. It was just too big for her, right?
Right.
The big truck was too big for Delphine to drive, correct? Your big white International.
Oh, yeah, she drives the Green Horse, but she couldn't drive this one, yeah.
I began plowing the next year. What'd you have, a Myers plow?
Yeah.
Yeah. I began plowing the next year with it and continued until we moved out of state. Wow, you did a long time with that. After selling the Volkswagen, do you remember the Volkswagen?
Yeah.
In the 1960s, we obtained a small Ford Maverick. Do you remember the Maverick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went to Pennsylvania with it a couple times, yeah. Sarah had one too.
We took the Maverick on ski trips initially, and it was a Maverick. I was then involved in an accident. Do you remember getting in an accident with the Maverick? It says you were involved in an accident.
Well, this guy was coming off the ski hill, didn't take his ski boots off, was driving with his boots on, and the driver with boots is a hell of a lot different than the driver with your regular shoes on. He could brake, and he was behind me.
With ski boots, you can't do shit.
Yeah, and he hit me in the behind.
No, you gotta be stupid doing
And
it.
then Sally was jammed up in the back seat.
Okay, here we go. That's what you say here. I was involved in an accident.
3 minutes.
Huh?
3.
I was involved in an accident and returning from a ski trip in Pennsylvania. Luckily, no one was seriously injured, although Sally did experience, your daughter, some lengthy back pain for some time after the accident.
Yeah, because they could get out of the back seat. But he was driving with ski boots on.
Yeah, that's stupid. Hey, I got some simple text messages here. You wanna ask? You feel like you're answering any?
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Jeckovich, are you superstitious about anything?
Now what?
Are you superstitious about anything?
No.
No, okay. Mr. Jeckovich, being that you're highly decorated World War II soldier, what does honor mean to you?
The honor?
What does honor mean to you
Honor?
as a decorated World War II?
You show respect for other people.
Mr. Jeckovich, have you ever been on TV?
No.
400 sometimes.
Well, yeah, that's lately, yeah.
Yeah, lately. When you were growing up and raising a family, Mr. Jeckovich, did you own a camera? And do you remember?
Oh, Polaroid camera, yeah.
And tell us how that worked.
That you put it in a Polaroid camera, take a picture, take it out, and seal it, and there'd be a picture there.
Also, the person text. Do you remember the last picture you ever took?
On the Polaroid?
Yeah.
Oh, probably 15 years ago. I don't even know where that camera is now.
Wasn't it like a brown case, a big brown case? Big brown case, everything fit in there. And when you rub the tube onto the pictures, it had a horrible, strong vinegar smell.
Yeah, well, you had to slide the picture over it, yeah. Well, those pictures never turned brown.
No, they lasted, didn't they? They lasted. Mr. Jeckovich, when you were single, have you ever been on a blind date?
Yeah,
Okay, tell us about it.
blind date with my, no, it wasn't. I was in school with Irene, I was in school with Leota, and Leota didn't have a date that date. I said, well, she can come with us. Leola Jankowski.
Right, but,
Wow.
we got one in the can.
Got another one in the books.
Yeah.
What do you wanna do?
What do you want to do now?